Let me tell you how one glass of champagne almost erased me and how I flipped that moment into my biggest win. It all went down at my brother Tyler's 5th wedding anniversary. The kind of event where everyone acts rich, drinks expensive lies, and smiles like nothing in the world stinks. But don't let the orchestra or the chandeliers fool you. That ballroom was a powder keg wrapped in gold ribbon. I stood near the back, rocking a beige dress Sharon, my oh-so-perfect stepmother, had picked out for me. The thing felt like punishment in fabric form. Tight waist, itchy chest, and the vibe of stand there, shut up, and smile for pictures. I watched them, my dad schmoozing the mayor, Sharon tossing her fake laugh like glitter, everyone praising Tyler and his Barbie doll wife, Madison. I barely existed. And that's when I started to feel off. Not tipsy, I hadn't even finished my first glass. My head felt fuzzy, my limbs loose, and the floor started tilting like a bad dream. I set the champagne down and made my way toward the restroom, trying to steady my steps. Then she appeared, a woman with sharp eyes, auburn hair in a no-nonsense bun. "Are you Avery?" she asked. "Yeah," I said slowly. She leaned in close. "Your stepmother just dropped something into your drink." I froze. "What?" She flashed a security badge. I saw it. Dropped something from her clutch, stirred it. Dissolved instantly. "I've seen it before. You need to act fast." My stomach dropped. I already had a few sips. She frowned. "How do you feel?" "Dizzy," I whispered. "That's enough. Swap glasses if you can. Don't make a scene." She slipped me her card, Elise Duran, private security. Heart pounding, I walked back to my table like nothing happened. Sharon was busy posing for photos. Her glass, identical to mine, sat waiting. I switched them, smooth as silk. 20 minutes later, my father stood for a toast to love, loyalty, and legacy. The crowd raised their glasses. Sharon looked at me and sipped. Her smile twitched. Her hand trembled. Then crash. The glass shattered. Sharon gasped, swayed, and dropped to the floor. Guests screamed. My father shouted. Cameras flashed. And me? I sat still, calm, steady, watching the poison find its way home. Red and blue lights painted the estate like a nightmare. Sharon lay on a stretcher, foaming slightly at the mouth. The medics worked fast, but I didn't move. I wasn't scared anymore. She had tried to poison me. I had a witness. I had proof. Everyone else was chaos. Madison sobbing, Tyler shouting at waiters, Dad gripping his whiskey like it was the last solid thing in his world. The cops came, quiet but sharp. "Miss Clark, were you near the champagne?" "Yes." "Did you see anything unusual?" I hesitated. Not until she fell. They noted something down, glancing at me like I was a question mark they couldn't solve. That night, I sat in my tiny apartment, staring at Elisa's business card. My phone buzzed, Jenny, my cousin. "Girl, you're trending." Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, all exploding with hashtags. Hashtag Clark collapse, hashtag anniversary disaster, hashtag what was in the glass. A video was circulating, Sharon laughing, sipping, collapsing, then the camera zooms in on me. Sitting still. Watching. The comments? Brutal. Why is she so calm? She looks evil AF. That stare? Cold. They didn't know the truth. Not yet. The next day, Detective Marissa Keene called. "Avery, we'd like to speak with you again." At the station, she slid a folder across the table. Toxicology confirms scopolamine, not lethal, but dangerous. Can cause confusion, fainting, or memory loss. "I believe it," I said. "You believe it?" "Yes, because that glass was meant for me." I told her everything about Elise, the warning, the swap. "Why would your stepmother do that?" Keene asked. I looked her dead in the eye. "Because she found out I know the truth." "What truth?" "She's not entitled to a dime of my mother's estate." And that's where everything changed. 2 months earlier, I'd gotten a letter postmarked from Savannah. My late mother's lawyer had sent me something unexpected, an addendum to her prenup with Dad. It said, if my father remarried, his new wife would never receive a cent connected to Mom's assets. Translation? Sharon had no legal right to her lavish lifestyle. The houses, the cars, the boutique business, all funded by my mother's estate. I'd called my friend one night, whispering, "I have leverage." I thought I was being clever, but Sharon must have overheard. Next thing I knew, I was suddenly invited to family events. She was being nice. Too nice. She sent me that beige dress for the anniversary. Her pick, not mine. It wasn't kindness, it was bait. At the station, Detective Keene said quietly, "You realize you swapped the glasses. Sharon drank what was meant for you." "I didn't poison anyone," I said. "I just didn't die." Keene nodded. "You need to protect yourself. If Sharon spins this, she'll make it about you." "I've got the letter," I said. "And a witness." The second I left that station, I knew the game had changed. Sharon wouldn't just hide, she'd fight. And I was ready. The moment I stepped out of that station, the city felt different. Colder. Like everyone already knew I was walking around with a loaded secret. My phone buzzed. "Tyler." I let it ring twice before picking up. "Avery, what the hell is going on?" "What do you mean?" "Don't play dumb. The cops came to the house. They're asking about you. About what you knew." I told them the truth, I said calmly, walking past honking cabs and flashing lights. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" he hissed. "Yeah. I stopped someone from killing me." "She didn't." "She did, Tyler. A security officer saw it. Her name's Elise." He went quiet. Not because he didn't believe me, but because he did. "Don't push this," he warned. "You're gonna regret it." I hung up before he could finish. 2 hours later, I was sitting in a leather chair across from Martin Hayes, my mom's old lawyer. The guy smelled like lemon polish and moral codes. I handed him the sealed envelope, the prenup clause. He read in silence, eyebrows climbing. "This changes everything." "I know. If this goes public, Sharon loses it all, the cars, the boutiques, the homes, everything tied to your mother's assets." "She knows that," I said flatly. "That's why she tried to get rid of me before it surfaced." He exhaled, shaking his head. "We'll need to act fast. I'll file an injunction and a motion to protect your inheritance immediately." "Do it." For once, I wasn't the scared one. 3 days later, I got the notice. Sharon had been discharged from the hospital, and her first move wasn't an apology. It was a lawsuit. Defamation and deliberate endangerment. I laughed when I read it. The audacity of this woman. But fear? Nah, not anymore. That was gone the night she drank her own poison. The next family gathering wasn't supposed to be a showdown. But I showed up anyway, head high, beige dress on my terms this time. When I walked in, the air froze. Dad frowned. Tyler stared. Sharon turned pale. "Hello, Sharon," I said sweetly. She didn't respond. I tilted my head. "How's your memory doing these days?" "Still a little foggy," she muttered. Dad snapped, "Avery, not now." I ignored him. "That's okay. Mine's crystal clear." "So is the security footage." Her smile cracked. Tyler slammed his glass down. "You're gonna destroy this family." I met his glare. "No, Tyler. I'm just exposing the part that was already rotting." By Monday morning, Martin Hayes had already filed motions in court. Sharon's assets, frozen. Her boutique chain? Under review. Her lawyer tried to bluff, but Martin's the kind of guy who eats bluff for breakfast. While they played legal ping-pong, Sharon hit the media. A glossy blog headline read, "Sharon Clarke speaks, I was targeted by my husband's troubled daughter." The article painted me like some jealous, unhinged stepdaughter with a history of resentment. She called me unstable. Said I acted suspiciously calm during her collapse. That I had emotional issues since Mom died. Classic move. The rich love rewriting history when the truth's too ugly. The comment section tore into me. She poisoned Sharon for attention. Entitled brat energy. Probably high at the party. But while Sharon played the victim online, her lawyer was busy begging mine for settlement talks. I told Martin, no deal. Not until the truth's out. He nodded. Then, let's give them something to choke on. We filed public record motions attaching the prenup clause. Once that hit court documents, reporters would see it. And they did. Within hours, whispers turned into headlines. Clarke estate clause discovered, stepmother's legal standing questioned. That's when the calls started again, my dad, furious, Tyler, panicking. Sharon's PR team, desperate. I didn't answer any of them. By the end of the week, my lawyer emailed. She's scared, Avery. We've got leverage now. Good. Fear suited her. Because while Sharon was faking weakness in front of cameras, I was preparing receipts. And the best part? I wasn't alone. The internet loves two things, villains and plot twists. Sharon gave them both, and for a while, people bought her act. Clips of her recovering in silk pajamas flooded social media. Her followers left hearts and prayers. Meanwhile, my inbox filled with hate. But I kept my silence. You don't scream when the truth's about to roar. Then Elise called. You saw the article? Yeah. You ready to make your move? Let's burn her stage down. The next morning, we met in a downtown cafe. Elise slid me a flash drive and some transcripts. Security footage. Audio. Timestamps. Sharon looking both ways, dropping something from her clutch into my champagne. Another clip, her whispering to a waiter, who conveniently vanished after that night. It wasn't just suspicion anymore. It was proof. Release it, Elise said. All of it. So I did. I sent it to an independent journalist, not some gossip blogger, but a truth digger. Within hours, the footage went live. No commentary. No voiceover. Just raw evidence. And the internet flipped. Wait, is that a pill? She literally spiked the drink. Yo, she played herself. The sympathy flipped faster than champagne foam. By sundown, Sharon's PR team had ghosted her. Her boutique page turned off comments. Sponsors started reviewing partnerships. And for the first time since my mom died, I slept easy. It was poetic, really. Sharon built her image on manipulation, and the same camera she adored destroyed her. The footage went viral overnight. News anchors debated it. TikTok detectives did frame-by-frame breakdowns. Reddit threads dug up her tax filings. Her name was trending again, but this time under hashtag #SharonExposed. When my father finally called, his voice was hoarse. Avery, we need to talk. I figured you'd say that, I said. I didn't know about the prenup. Doesn't matter. You let her erase me long before she tried to poison me. What do you want? I paused. The truth public. Her out of mom's house. And everything that's mine, with interest. He sighed. Come by tomorrow. We'll talk terms. I showed up the next morning wearing beige again, but this time, power beige. Sharp. Tailored. Dad sat at the long dining table, shoulders heavy. He slid a folder toward me. You win. I opened it. My mother's trust reinstated. Assets transferred. My name respected. She's gone, he said quietly. Left last night. Of course she did. Cowards run when the mirror shows their real face. He looked at me for the first time in years, not like a problem, but a consequence. I should have protected you. I didn't respond. Some apologies come too late to matter. The house didn't feel like home, not yet. It felt like a tomb full of ghosts wearing expensive perfume. I walked through every room Sharon had redecorated, undoing her presence one picture frame at a time. I pulled my mom's photos back out, the ones Sharon boxed away. I cleaned the garden she'd let die. It was quiet work. Healing always is. Then came the knock. Tyler. He looked wrecked, like guilt had been chewing through his perfect skin. I need to tell you something, he muttered. Then say it. He looked at the floor. I knew about the pill. Sharon told me it'd just make you too dizzy to talk. I didn't think she'd actually do it. I stared, my voice low. So you stayed quiet? I was scared, he whispered. Of her. He hesitated. Of losing everything. I folded my arms. Then congratulations, Tyler. You lost me instead. I closed the door. And, just like that, the last piece of rot fell away. By the end of that month, Sharon's name had become radioactive. 2 nonprofits dropped her. 3 sponsors cut ties. Her boutique? Closed. Staff restructuring, the press release said. But everyone knew the truth. Every room she entered now whispered her sins. Meanwhile, I stayed quiet. No interviews. No victory posts. Let her drown in silence, it's slower that way. I poured champagne one night, same brand, same crystal flute, and toasted the mirror. To survival, I said. The loudest kind of revenge. Weeks passed. The internet found a new scandal to chew on, but the scars stayed where they belonged, deep in Sharon's world. I got a letter from Martin, the final estate transfer confirmed. My mom's name restored. My future untangled from theirs. Elise called one last time. "So, how's it feel?" "Like peace," I said. "Not loud, not flashy. Just mine." "Good. That's the best kind." She was right. Some people think revenge means screaming from rooftops, rubbing it in. But real revenge? It's walking through the fire, then owning the ashes. I walked out to the garden, my mom's garden, the one Sharon once covered in fake marble fountains. Now the flowers were blooming again. And as the sun dipped behind the trees, I whispered, "We did it, Mom." Because sometimes, the most powerful revenge isn't proving them wrong, it's proving you survived.